And so I'm really pleased to have Sivam Krish, who is here to talk about his phone-based AI system to assess tuna freshness and grade. So please welcome Sivam to the floor.
Hi, I'm Sivam. I'm the founder and CEO of Go Micro. I'm from outside seafood industry, so I'm primarily here to learn and to connect. So I like to share what we do more than, because we are still figuring out how we do what we do. So I'm originally from Sri Lanka. I'm now based in Australia. My company is an Australian company. So we realized when we talked to the Aquatic Research Association of Sri Lanka that around 30% of seafood is spoiled on landing. A large amount of people in Asia eat fish that's not suitable for human consumption. In countries like Australia, they would not allow consumption, maybe it'll be cat food. So this is a serious problem. I won't go into the reasons why this, but this is a problem I believe we can address. So the reason I spoke to them is because we had developed a technology which is phone-based. We have a little clip-on device that will work with any phone. And what this does, it removes the shadows and lighting conditions so that anybody can build very accurate AI apps with a very small set of images. So we worked with NARA to do an initial test on skipjack tuna. And we got fairly amazing results. We looked at the eye, we looked at the gill, and we looked at the skin. So this was very good for our very first try. So NARA is trying to reduce the spoilage from 30% to 20%, but this was where it started. Then we worked with a company called John Keel, which is a fairly large supermarket chain, and they had problems with customers just throwing the tuna back at their face and saying this is bad quality because the best quality gets exported, right? So we created an app which will tell you tuna quality. So basically, all good fish is exported. What's eaten locally is on the verge of spoiling, right? And very often, it'll be okay when you buy, and then when it's put on the store, it's spoiled. So this borderline situation. There too, we achieved excellent result with tuna. So we then suddenly got a call from India. There's a company, we can't disclose the name. Was very keen on what we have. I said, we've got all these different items. They said, look, ship us all what we've got, right? So for a startup company, it's a great opportunity. So we built a whole range of devices which we had, which can do at different sizes. And we didn't realize that this was tested successfully, but we had no follow-up. So as you know, India has a lot of VC money, and you hear a lot of stories about everybody using tech. There was no tech use. This company continued to raise millions of dollars, and I'm delighted to see two awesome Indian enterprises here doing amazing stuff with next to no investment. So there's a lot of hype, a lot of happening, a lot of people raising money on tech, and we are essentially, fisheries is a disorganized industry. We are organizing it, and there's a lot of interesting things happening. So this company, however, did good testing. So this is Seafish, and we tested again with eyes and gills with and without flesh, and we got stellar results. So I think we can assess shelf life. So spoilage is very easy to check. You get the fish, every hour you take pictures, and maybe 50 fishes, you get 100 images, and you build an app in a day. The device in mass manufacture is going to be very cheap, probably about $1, which means we can put it everywhere. But our challenge and our problem is we don't know where to put it. We don't know where this fits. So that's where I'm here. And I'm delighted to talk to a lot of people and get better understanding and insight of where this actually fits. So the last test was in Indonesia. because here, as you know, fishermen vote, and when the fisherman takes the fish to the buyer always says the quality is bad. So we managed to build an app for big eye tuna, and also we managed to build an app for grading. So this was funded, I think, by the Indonesian government. The intent was to take it to the next step, but it didn't get there. I believe the reason why it didn't get there is that even if you can assess the freshness of tuna very accurately and the grading of tuna accurately, the buyers don't want the fisherman telling them this is fresh fish. So we are this project is kind of stuck. Right? So it's an interesting problem. So what was even more exciting for us, we thought we are never going to be able to do this, is that Indonesia had lots of islands, and a lot of them don't have internet connection. So the next request, hey, can you put this to work on the device? So after some struggle, we managed to do it on the device, which means it will work without internet connection. So essentially, we have developed the technology and the capacity to give all fishermen all over the world the capacity to QC accurately, right? So there's a difference in the way we think about AI and the way other people think about AI. Yeah, most companies require millions of images. Data is gold, data is gold. They protect the data. They think it's an asset. We do not think so. We do not even collect the data while it's being used because we do not need to. You get 98%, you're done with a few images, right? More than that, we are going to democratize the way apps are going to be built. So anybody, including kids, can build their own app. So our notion of AI is different from the others in that we see our service as a way of delivering human expertise. Because no two QC person agrees, no two companies' requirements are identical. So we are creating a platform where anybody can create an app and their own standards and send it along the chain so that everybody in the chain can use it. And there'll be no disputes because you can actually verify it at both ends. So this is how we build the Tuna app. We get somebody to take pictures. Again, we replicate human expertise. So somebody says this is good tuna, okay. We take pictures of good tuna, bad tuna, and we can now, once we get the images, build and deploy in a day. So we started working with oysters in Australia, and this was a very interesting project because there are about 100 oyster graders in Australia, and no two oyster grader agrees. Right? So it was a disaster of a project because the guy who was giving us the data had a different set of idea of what, and they have big egos, so that's an even bigger problem to manage. So what we ended up, so now we are doing grain, and we are primarily as an ag-tech company. We are doing thousands of grain, and we are thinking, how the hell are the grain assessors going to be better than us? We are looking at millions of grains. 10, 20, 100 times more grains than they look at the entire lifetime. So we realized that not only we can QC the QCers. Because we will know this QC person looks at it this way, this other QC person looks at it this way, right? So I have no question in mind that AI has now exceeded what humans can do, and we can give this capacity to QC to everybody who wants it. We have to figure out the business model, and we have to figure out where we fit. So the naive understanding when we started was that, okay, there's trade dispute, buyer and seller, right? So we can solve this problem. Buyer can QC, seller can QC. Turned out to be a dumb idea, right? Because there's a power difference between the buyer and the seller. The buyers call the shots, not the fisherman. So we're trying to figure out how to solve this problem. If you have ideas, please let us know. This is what's kind of holding our rollout. Thank you very much, and I'd love to connect and answer questions at the end of the session.